You and the planets. Their role in your destiny. Our solar system as we know it today consists of the Earth, the Sun, the Moon, and 8 other planets that revolve around the Sun in a precise and ordered pattern. The dependability of this pattern allows us to go to bed each night knowing that morning will arrive on schedule tomorrow. This pattern marks not only our days, but our seasons, our years, and our lives. This conformity to certain known laws, as the Columbia Encyclopedia expresses it, enables us here on Earth to calculate exactly where a given planet has been, is, or will be at any given point in time. Because each entity in our solar system moves at a different speed and rate, and in a separate path or orbit, the combinations of the placement of the planets are almost endless. At the moment of your birth, the Sun, Moon, and planets were in a particular arrangement in the heavens. This exact arrangement will not be repeated for 4,320,000 years. This means another person with your exact horoscope will not walk on this earth for another 4,320,000 years. Even then, of course, that person will never be exactly the same because of the entirely different genetic and environmental factors. What about twins, one might ask? Wouldn't they have the exact same horoscope? The answer is no. Every 4 minutes the ascendant changes by 1 degree. This means that twins born as little as 4 minutes apart might have ascendants in 2 different signs if one of the twins was born in the last degree of an ascendant and the second twin born in the first degree of a new ascendant. Even a difference of 1 degree in the same ascendant makes a change. When the ascendant shifts, the entire birth chart shifts. True, the changes are slight and the horoscopes are very similar, but then, twins are very similar. And what of people born at the same second, perhaps in the very same hospital? People born at the same time are known as astral twins or time twins. A great deal of research is currently being done by astrologers and scientists into the life patterns of time twins. The results are astounding. In case after case, it has been documented that the life patterns of time twins are eerily similar. In many cases, they marry at the same time, have the same number and same sexes of children, they divorce, travel, and change jobs and residences at the same time. In many cases they die at the same time and from the same causes. Obviously time twins are very, very rare. The unique pattern of Sun, Moon, and planets in your horoscope is most likely unduplicated by anyone else. Your sun sign might be Taurus or Scorpio, but you may be as different as night and day from another Taurus or Scorpio. Just as your fingerprints are like no one else's, your birth chart is like no one else's. And if you wish to gain further insight into the knowledge astrology can provide you, you must know where the various planets are placed in your, or anyone else's, birth chart. Each planet has a specific influence in astrology and governs a certain area of your personality or your approach to life. For example, Mercury relates to your mental outlook, Venus governs your love nature. It is the placement of these planets in the various zodiacal signs that determines how you express the different facets of your personality. If your Mercury is in Gemini, you tend to be extremely verbal and quick-witted. If your Mercury is in Capricorn, you handle detail work very well and carefully plot out your plans in advance. If your Venus is in Leo, you are not happy unless you receive a great deal of attention from a lover. If your Venus is in Aquarius, you consider freedom of expression for each person to be the most important thing in a love relationship. In the following pages you will find a rundown of each planet, its power and influence, and what that influence means when it is in each sign of the zodiac. There are planetary tables on pages 485 to 513 that will give you the exact position of each planet in your chart for your particular day of birth. Note, the astrological community has taken a great interest in a tiny planet or asteroid. It has not yet been determined which, and is often referred to as a planetoid, discovered by Charles Carl on November 1, 1977. This tiny planetary body is named Chiron, who in Greek mythology was the wise centaur, a teacher, and a healer. Chiron has a diameter of between 100 and 400 miles and an orbit that lies between Saturn and Uranus. the astrological significance of Chiron is still under observation. In general, it is thought of as an influence for spiritual regeneration and the search for meaningful work. Some astrologers connect it to Scorpio and Sagittarius, and others to Virgo. A group has been formed called the Association for Studying Chiron. This society feels that Chiron has no sign rulership and that its nature is, in their word, maverick. Many astrologers, and computer astrology programs, now routinely note the position of Chiron in horoscopes and, when doing chart readings, include an interpretation of Chiron's placement in a birth chart. In August 1989, an interesting discovery about Neptune's moon Triton was made. Data sent back to Earth from our space probe, Voyager 2, has led many astronomers to believe that Triton may once have been a planet that revolved around our Sun, and eons ago was drawn into Neptune's gravitational embrace. In accordance with ancient prediction, many astrologers down through the years have believed that more planets will be discovered within our solar system. A prevailing theory, one among many, is that two more planets remain to be discovered, the planet Apollo and the planet Vulcan. Apollo is said to be the true ruler of Taurus, which now shares the planet Venus with the sign of Libra, and Vulcan to be the true ruler of Virgo, which now shares the planet Mercury with the sign of Gemini. Indeed, astronomers continued to search for two other planets in our solar system. One, named Vulcan, is thought to be close to the Sun, between Mercury and the Sunday. The other, called Planet X, is being looked for beyond Pluto. Something out there is exerting a gravitational pull on Uranus, but Pluto, the planet beyond Uranus, is far too tiny in size to influence the orbit of a planet as big as Uranus, and so astronomers continued to search for Planet X. In fact, in April 1998, the scientific world was thrilled when it seemed that a 10th planet had been discovered, and disappointed when it turned out to be a comet briefly orbiting the Sunday. When a new planet is discovered and assigned to a zodiacal sign, that sign undergoes a slow change in appearance. For example, before the end of the 18th century, and therefore before the planet Uranus was discovered, the rulership of Aquarius belonged to Saturn. Back then Aquarius was a much more sober, practical, melancholy, and restrictive sign than the bright, modern, forward-thinking, and electric Aquarius we know today. In the grand plan of the universe according to astrology, the true ruler of a sign brings out that sign's true characteristics. Of course, it is perfectly possible that the ancient predictions will not take place and the number of planets in our solar system will remain exactly the same as today. Only time will tell.